So hello and welcome, y'all. I am almost on time, and I feel like I'm somewhat organized. Oh, not really, because I'm moving my laptop out the way, putting it behind the ring light. So I'm going to do the intro for the replay crew and for people who may be new here. And so we're going to do that, and then we're going to jump into, hey Tanya, what was the title? The ultimate, how to use what you have, something or other. I know, like I made up the title. Hey Sarah, and I'm like, what's the title? Something about the ultimate use what you use guide or something like that. So let me just do the intro and then we'll get into it, and then I think you'll understand, or I'll be able to express it better. I just got up at 6:30, did the face. Now I'm here. So I'm still like, am I dreaming? Am I awake? Like, what's happening? Except I know for sure it is raining outside. So for the intro, hello and welcome to those of you who are new here and or watching the replay. My name is Dion. I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube. The crazy, why? Crazy concept. Be your authentic self. Yeah, in a world where people say you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, you should be like this, you should be like that. Be yourself. It is very freeing. It is very freeing just to love yourself for who you are. Hey, Janet. And the troll part of the crazy troll nation is not paying too much attention or being too overly concerned with the beauty community standards. You'll hear, oh, you have to use this brand, you have to use this brush, you have to use this technique. I'm here to tell you that you don't. Try all the things, sure, if you want to, but don't feel like you have to use what you want to use, however you want to use it, to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. You set your own standards, not the community. What else? Oh, the bottom line here at the Crazy Troll Nation is self-acceptance and self-love, embracing your natural features, enhancing them if you want to, when you want to, but never, ever, ever feeling like you have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look, even when you are not wearing face paint. So that is our intro. I hope it resonates with you. And also, I do toss in two things about me if you don't know. I curse sometimes because I curse, and yes, that's annoying me. That is different than that side. It's bothering my OCD. So let me just try not to look at it. I curse sometimes because I curse, and there's an organism that lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches. And I try to be aware of it so I can say, excuse me, because even for the best of us trolls, that is just ignorant, bad behavior. So, I'm going to just mention two sidebar things while we're waiting for YouTube to notify more people. But then we are going to get into the topic, which is the ultimate guide to using what you have. So the brand that I told y'all, I think it was Halle Hair, the one that sent the hair glaze. I did send the message saying I received it and I'm interested to see what it'll do to my buzz cut. And that was my second message mentioning I had a buzz cut. They sent me another message back. I don't know if they read my message. I really don't, because I'm just like, what? Like I don't really get it. But they wrote back saying, "Oh, we're really excited to see your content," and I'm just like, it's just funny to me, y'all. What hair glaze? What? I am gonna try it though, cause maybe it'll just make my scalp shiny. Like I don't know. I don't know. And they have different color ones. I got the one that's clear. So yes, I am just I just don't understand. But so we're gonna do that. Also Monday's live stream, we're gonna do a swatch party. Um, the postal service, USPS, one of the items they keep changing the date. It was supposed to be delivered today, and now they're saying tomorrow. But someone is gifting me a palette that they received gift with purchase, and they already had it, so they're sending that to me new. So that's one thing, and I ordered a thing. Um, and so both of those should be here tomorrow. So we're going to do a swatch party on Monday of those two palettes. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I wanted to mention before I jump into the topic? I feel like I'm missing something. Hey, Grace. Um, yeah, I feel like I'm missing something. But we're going to get into the topic and how to use what you have. So that's going to be the theme as of right now, because of course stuff is subject to change. That's going to be the theme right now for the Crazy Troll Nation, is using what we have. And well, I'll speak for me. Using what I have and not purchasing more and more stuff because I had 80 something pallets. I was working on getting to my sweet spot, which is the mid 60s. I was down to 68, and right now today I'm at 71. And for some reason I'm thinking 72, but I might have been thinking ahead to the pallet that's coming. So I'm back to 71. I did get rid of a lot of stuff, and I still keep looking at what I have, and I'm like, what else can I get rid of? Um, and the reasons for keeping things are it is unique to my collection, number one. Number two, I love the formula. I know I'm going to enjoy using it. Number three, even if I can do similar looks, hey Dawn, with something else, this one may be more travel friendly or may be less messy, which makes it more travel friendly as far as size and ease of use. Um, and for the Pride palette, I don't use that often. That thing is humongous. And I was just really excited to support. And I do really love the palette. So that's always just going to be here. And when it turns, I'll just purchase singles to put in there because you can take those out and replace them, move them around, and all of that. And so I will definitely keep that puffer jacket packaging. So those are the reasons why I would keep stuff. And also for like some of my minis, they're good for pairing together and pairing with other things. And so those are just a handful of the reasons why I'm keeping stuff that I'm keeping. I do have one palette in mind to go ahead and get rid of. And so I don't know. And so what I've been doing is when I've been using palettes, I didn't use a lot this month yet. This month I think I only used um maybe like 8 palettes so far because I was doing like 3 looks type things with Bloom um, and Eternal Beauties. I started doing looks with that. So yeah, we've been some one month we used I think like 21 palettes, another month like 19 or whatever. But this month is real short and we only have a few days left. Um, but I thought, how can I make sure that I am rotating through my palettes? And I thought, hey, Sai, how you doing? Thank you for being here. Oh, hey, Julia. It's always nice seeing new people, Sai. Thank you for popping in. She's waving at everybody, or he. I'm not sure. I don't want to pronoun, misgender. Um, so I thought, how can I make sure I'm using everything I have? And then I realized that if I stay within my sweet spot of 60 something palettes, say I do a look every day, which I don't, at least 4 days out the week, I do a look. So 4 days out of the week, 4 weeks, that's 16 palettes, right? And then if I pair, that's even more. So easily 16 to 20 palettes a month I can use. Hey, Melissa, how you been, girl? Haven't seen you in a bit. How are you? Um, don't forget to say hi to Sai, y'all. She's new. I'm not pronouncing the first part of her handle because I don't want to say it wrong. So that's why I'm just saying Sai for the last 2 letters. Um, and so I was thinking like, how can I do this? Because I do want to love everything I have. And there's one palette, excuse me, y'all, that keeps popping into my mind that I'm like, would I miss it if it was gone? Um, it is somewhat unique to my collection, but just the color story. But then every time I look at it, I'm like, wow, this is so pretty. And it's so easy to use. So as I said, I'm at 71 right now, and I have 2 palettes coming. So tired, been playing caregiver and having a hard time keeping up. Oh, I can relate to tired. I had 3 hours of sleep today. And that's from being thrown off still from the weekend because I had that appointment that completely threw me off. Thank you, Julia. Um, and being a caregiver, so thumbs up to you because being a caregiver is hard work. And I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is. I've done it, so I know. And when my grandmother was here, I helped take care of her. And then I used to do hospice for a friend of mine, and it is hard. And it can be very taxing on us mentally and physically. And so much respect to you, Melissa, for doing that. And they're blessed to have you to help them out. I'm doing okay. I'm just tired. I'm sleepy. And I need to get sleep because tomorrow night I'm working down at the Playhouse. And so yeah, I need to rest or something. But So that's where I am. And thank you again for Melissa for the job you do. Because when, even as a counselor, that can be a thankless job. Just like teachers, that's a thankless job. And caregiving, that's a thankless job. Like people don't think about like what it takes to really do, that thing that we're doing at that time. And so I really respect you. When I come across somebody who says, they might be like, "Oh, what do you do?" And it's just something about me, like they'll think I'm still military, or they're like, "You must be a counselor," or something like that. And so I'll be like, "Well, what do you do?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a teacher. I teach, fourth grade." And I'm like, "Much respect to you." Because those are the kind of jobs where you're trying to change somebody's life for the better. And is underpaid and underrated. And so, see, there you go. And you used to be a preschool teacher. Thank you for that, too. Hi, Samson. I'm not going to answer that question, but I'll let you have your thoughts on that. So, so what I thought of, I do know some people use a spreadsheet and they put all of the names of all of their palettes into an Excel spreadsheet because then you can just tally it up. Yes, Melissa. I'm trying to just stay focused here. Because where I'm from, and I'm still half asleep, so my filter is not all the way on yet. So I'm just trying to still be the good role. Some people put all their palettes in an Excel spreadsheet and then they'll use a random generator. Like say they have 250 pallets. I saw somebody's thumbnail. It was a 500 pallet something, declutter or whatever, and I'm just like, damn, like I can't imagine. Like I'm trying to get back down to 60, but yet I keep buying stuff. But anyway, um, so I'm like, there is no way if I had like hundreds of pallets I would use them all because I would forget. And I know a lot of people do. No, jump on in. It just needs to be something related to makeup or skincare, which is kind of what we stick to. Even though I went on a little thank you to Melissa for what she does. But yeah, we're glad to have you here. Um, so there's no way if I had hundreds of palettes that I would use them all because some would get lost because I would forget what I have and how my station is set up now. I can see all of my makeup except what's in my backups. I can see everything, and so anytime I look this way when I'm at my station, I'm looking at my palettes, my blushes, my bronzers, all of that, and my brushes and lippies are over here. So I see everything, and that reminds me, oh yeah, I haven't used that in a while. And I used to just look at my stash and just think, what have I not used in a while? And that's how I would pick whatever palette I'm using for that day. But then stuff would still, get forgotten or get missed or overlooked. And so I do know some people use a spreadsheet and then they put in a random generator. If they have 273 palettes, they'll put in, all the numbers and random generator will pick a palette. That's the palette that they use. Um, and to me, that seemed like a lot. And I did start out using an Excel spreadsheet, but then it got convoluted really quick because okay, here's the palettes that I have. This list. These are the palettes I need to use, and these are the palettes that I used. And so there's like three different categories. And so I ended up switching everything over to an Excel spreadsheet so it'll be easier for me. And so I like that I have 71, soon to be 73 palettes. Because I can just look on this paper. So what I did was it does take some organization, it does take time, it does take conscious effort to keep this updated every day when I do a look, unless I'm doing three looks, one palette, because then I just need to move it one time. And so then I was thinking, okay, if I just did a list of all of my palettes, hey Janessa, if I just did a list of all of my palettes and then just like deleted the ones that I used, I may forget like what's in my complete inventory. Lucky 73. Oh yeah, I'm about to have 73 once these deliveries come tomorrow. So I'm still looking because my sweet spot really is like the mid 60s. Um, but then 71, I'm like, okay, 16 to 20 pallets a month. I'll go through them all in, 2.5 months. And so it's not too bad. So at least everything is getting touched at least every 2.5 months. and more if quicker if I pair them. So what I did was, do I want to fold this paper? I'm going to fold this paper. And so I did print it out. Y'all know I'm good for typing up and printing out stuff. But when I did that sale, the Ulta 20s, that was insane. So the top of this palette, wait a minute. Oh, I folded it in the wrong place. Okay, let me fold it down here. And so I printed this out just to show you guys like how I'm doing what I'm doing. And hopefully, well, if you're trying to use what you have on a more consistent basis, for one, I think the stash, or if people do call it collections, I think it needs to be manageable. And I don't think like 400 pallets are manageable. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. And we can, agree to disagree on that. But I do want to use what I have, whether I received it in PR or whether I purchased it. Like, I want to use it. And even like with the Magpie palette, I keep thinking I need to use that more. I need to use that more. But then, other stuff. So this right here, this up here is in bold, and it says, this is when I did this inventory list. Actually, I updated it because I put on like Eternal Beauties and Garden Grunge and Dark Side of the Rainbow. So 3/20/2025 eyeshadow palette inventory. So these are all of my eyeshadow palettes. And I put them in, these are all Notoriously Morbid, and I have 22 Notoriously Morbid / Bellcast Beauty palettes. These are Natasha Denona's. I have 16 Natasha Denona palettes. These are Lethal, BYOPs, and Velvet Dust, which is pre-made. I have 12 Lethal palettes. These are just random. Nomad, Urban Decay, Elf, ABH. I was thinking I ordered something else, a third one, but no. ABH, Esom, Salem. I have 2 of those Sigma. So these are just random. So, and I have down here 10 random brands because these are just where I have like 1 or 2 of. My matte palettes, I have 8 matte palettes, and I have 4 Pat McGrath palettes. And so that gives me 71 total palettes. And for some reason, I'm thinking 72. As of the 16th of March, I had 71 palettes. And so I wanted to have that here. So this is always going to be here because these are the palettes I have. If I get something new, I'll plug it in and increase my total number. Well, the total number's down here. So this is for me. This side, let me not do that yet. This one, this is the second page. This at the top says used in January 2025. And I went back to my roundup list. So that's here. February 2025, I got that from my roundup list. What we used March 2025 so far are these right here. And so what I do is I delete them off of a previous list because this helps me see, okay, this is what I used. And how do I know that on this side, okay, this is the complete inventory. This side are palettes left to use. So everything that's not on here, what we use January, February, and March, these are down here. And as I look at this and I use one of them, I cut it from here and I paste it for here for March. So that's how I'm going to be keeping track of what I have. And I knew before I had said I have like a dozen brands. I have 10 brands. That's it. I have 10 brands of eyeshadow. Most is Notoriously Morbid. Half of it, yeah, I think it's safe to say half were from PR, but I still do count them in that number because they still take up storage space and I still want to use them. So 22 Notoriously Morbid, 16 Natasha's, 12 Lethals, 10 from random brands, 8 MAC, and 4 Pat. That's what I got. That's what I got. And so that's how I'm going to be keeping track. What's left to use. And I haven't used a random generator. I haven't done much with this because I knew I was going to use Garden Grunge, Dark Side of the Rainbow, and Eternal Beauties. And so this has just kind of been like this. But I did add them over here. So, hey, Chuck T. Oh, you making me think of Chuck D from Public Enemy. How you doing today? Yeah, and so that's my lineup. And so that's how I'm doing it, but I think it's only manageable for me because I only have 71 so far. And so what I would like to hear from you is like what your system is. And Janet, beat me to it. My system is pallets to be used or on the dining room table until I use them, not having any guests over anytime soon. And that's a good one. And I thought to do that because when I did my February roundup, I said I'll just leave those over here on my desk. And then I'm like, okay, then I'll pull my January pallets. But then I'm like, then I'm gonna have like stacks of pallets. That's rude, ED. That is rude. And it's not funny. Thank you, Janessa. Yeah, that was not, no, we don't do that here. I apologize to you, Eli, for that. But my moderator has taken care of it. And so thank you for that, Janessa. Oh, he already gone. He don't even see you doing. It is gone. Hey, Grace, I can't wait for the new mothership of packaging coming too. Stop showing out. Okay, you know what? Oh, you know what? You beat me to it, Janessa. I was just pushing buttons. Thank you, Janessa. I was about to remove that person. Yeah, we don't do that here. We're trolls, but we're the good trolls. We don't do being rude to other people here. We just don't. Um, and for those who don't know, Janessa is my moderator. So it's, oh my gosh, is it because it's Thursday? So Janessa is a moderator for me. So she keeps an eye on the chat, like in case I miss something. I think maybe because it's a Thursday. Like I don't know. But anyway, last Thursday was really cool though. I mean, we had more attendees, and the conversation was really good. So I can't say it's a Thursday. Um, so I had like two stacks on my desk, and I'm just like, okay. And I don't like clutter, so for me it looked junky. And then also what it did was because how I have my palettes organized, like everything fits. And so stuff was sliding over here and stuff was over here on the side, and it just looked, it wasn't aesthetically pleasing to my eye. And so I'm like, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. And so I'm thinking, what can I do? And so this is what I did. But I would like to hear from some more of you. Like, what do you do to make sure like you're using what you have, or do you just whatever? Or are you okay with if you have palettes that you just don't use? Because sometimes we just want to look at pretty stuff. When I was working, I had a bunch of Coach bags, and I had big ones because I have my laptop in it, my files, books, workbooks for the clients, and all of that stuff. And so when I stopped working, and they were lined up on the top shelf of my closet, my Coach bags never saw carpet. They never saw linoleum. If I'm somewhere, it goes on a chair. If I have it in my living room, it's on the sofa. Restaurants, it goes in a chair. People's house, on a chair. Like I never put them on the floor. And so they were on the top shelf of my closet. So it was just like all these glorious Coach bags, different colors and styles, and I would just open my closet and be like, "That's so pretty." So I know it is okay. Some people like to just have stuff that's pretty, just like people who keep. Not everybody who keeps their Pat McGrath packaging, but some people are like, "I am not getting rid of that box. That's artistic," and it is. But I didn't buy it for the box, even though I'm sure that's factored in the price. But anyway, so it's okay if you do just want to just have stuff just because it's pretty, or you just want to keep it on display. And I do know there's some people when they declutter, if the packaging is extremely unique, they will just put it on display and they'll say, I'm decluttering this, but it's going on my display shelf. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, I'm taking it out of my rotation. I'm not going to ever use it anymore, but this is going to sit here because the packaging is whatever. And so I do get that. The ones I used most recently, says Janet, are stacked on my counter in the bathroom. Unfortunately, my spouse tipped over the stack. I will say this. Well, first of all, I hope the palettes are okay and the shadows are okay. Second, it's not really. Yeah, I hope they survive too. That's what Janessa said. It's not good to keep powder products in the bathroom if it's like if you shower and it's steamy, or you take a bath and it's steamy, because that can start to affect the shadows. And so that's why some people say never leave your makeup in the bathroom. And I know a lot of people do. So It's really whatever you're comfortable with doing. Dawn says she puts a few in a stack to use for the week, usually from inspiration on YouTube. That too, yes, Janessa, and I thank you for what you do because I imagine you're still at work or somewhere or doing something. Um, that Pat McGrath palette, you know what, y'all? Hashtag they tried it because they have a duo. Each mothership is 128, and we do know that, right? They had a bundle, the lilac packaging with the black one for $230 something dollars. So it would have saved you like $20 versus purchasing both individually. But why? I was like, who would buy both? And then I'm thinking, a collector. And I am sure I'm going to go to that website one day. It's going to say sold out for that duo because I can see where someone would say, I do like, me personally, I think the colors look better against the black, but I understand that the purple is spring. So I can see people buying the purple one just for display purposes and using the one in the black packaging. I imagine that. But I'm like, why would you buy two of the same palettes just because the packaging is a different color? But somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to do it. But I'm just like, somebody will do it. I'm gonna tell you why. When they came out with the Star Wars one, the one they put the sticker on, that was the same palette. I forget which one it was, but it was a repeat palette with new packaging. And because it was different packaging, people got it. And eons ago, I think they did that with not Rose, with Decadence or something. It was the same exact palette, just different packaging. People bought it because it was different packaging. So people are going to buy it, buy both of them. And I'm just like, he is now the expert of shadow repressor. She says Dawn about Janet's husband. No, Janet says that. Oh, what was I? Oh, you know what? I'm looking at Dawn's name and looking up at Janet's comment. Well, it's good that he's repressing. Yeah, he need to put in some work on that. Oh my gosh, my heart would have dropped. And Dawn says I have palettes for my bathroom for years. Quality is holding, especially on my ancient urban decay. Wow. And Julia says, shop my stash each month helps me get through my palettes. But how do you remember? This was me, because y'all know my brain can be a scary place. I was like, how am I going to remember? And that's what made me go back and do my January roundup, February, and March to keep track. But how do you keep track of, like, if you use palettes in March, you set them aside for shop my stash, how do you keep track that you don't use those same ones in April? You know what I mean? Or in May before you use your other stuff. Like, how do you're not gross, Dawn, you're just different. And we're different here. Janessa says I have one of them, the one with the multi-chrome that had limited edition pink chrome packaging. That got me. But I didn't buy the standard black packaging. Because some people, they already had the black packaging, and when they came out with the sticker or the new color, then they bought that one too. And I'm just like, and Pat's motherships last a long time. The PAO is 12 months, I think, but they last a long time. They last years and years. So Julia says different themes, sometimes I do use them over. Okay. Because that's what I was thinking for me. Like, how can I keep track? Like, if I just say, okay, I use it in January, but then if I put them back and then do a February shop my stash, like, what if yeah, so I just need to, and that's why I was saying this does take being organized, like, to be sure that I'm using all of these before I roll back around and double up on something else. I'm definitely not that organized, says Dawn. I have palettes I use often and many I haven't used in quite a while. So let me ask you this, Dawn. First of all, you need to start doing videos and do a collection video. You can break it up by brand, color story, however you want to do it. Break it up by aesthetic, however you want to do it. Because you know what? Somebody's got to do it. Show us your palette. Somebody got to do it. What? Must have on a beat, bro. So thank you, Delano, for sending a gift. I appreciate that. Oh, I got a flower. My first flower. Thank you. So let me ask you this, Dawn. The ones you haven't used in a long time, like if you got rid of them, do you think you would miss them? And if the honest answer is no, then you can declutter it because you won't miss it. If you would miss it, that'd be different. But so I'm just really asking, and you don't have the answer here if you don't want to, but just in your mind, if you haven't used something for a long time, say like 6, 7 months, whatever, and you don't miss it and you don't miss using it, why keep it? Janice says, after the recent use stat gets a little high, I decide to keep or declutter each, and they are put into their respective areas. Oh, I love that, Janet. I love that. The one says some no, some yes. And so the ones that the ones that no you would not miss, are you going to consider decluttering those since you won't miss them? And you don't have the answer here because I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just trying to get us thinking like how to really use our stuff. How to really use our stuff. I love that you do that, Janet. That's challenging for me because I'm trying to get to a place where everything is top tier. And so if everything is top tier, it's like it's going to stay. But I am still looking at what I can get rid of that I won't really miss. And what I'm thinking of now, which I love it because it's dark and it's smoky, that MAC Cosmetics Snowbody's Business. It was limited edition. Thank you. I'm gonna just call you AJ. I don't want to mispronounce your name. So how are you today, AJ? Thank you for being here. So I forgot what I was saying, which happens quite often. Oh, I'm glad you're good. I'm doing okay. I just keep losing my train. So I keep going to say something and I'm like, I have nobody that likes makeup, so throwing things in the trash hurts, you know. It does, but so it's just going to sit there and you won't miss it. Thank you, AJ. Or you get rid of it and don't miss it, or it just sits there and you it's just taking up space. And that's the challenge for a lot of people. They're like, I just cannot bring myself to throw it away, even though I'm not going to miss it, even though it's old, even though it got mold or whatever. They're like, I just cannot throw it away. And so I know it's a thing. And so my question, oh my God, y'all making me be a counselor now. So my question is if you won't miss it, what is it that's keeping you from throwing it away? If you won't miss it, what keeps you from throwing it away? Yes, we already spent money on it, but yes, we used it as much as we're going to, and now we're not using it anymore. So why? What's going on with us or in our minds that we're like, I still need to keep it, even though I don't miss it? Yeah, I'm gonna get out of clinical mode because I'm ready to go somewhere else. So. And I know a lot of people do struggle with that. Yeah, and nobody in my day-to-day life really wears makeup either. Fabulous 50 but she's like 2 hours away. 2 hours for her. When I went to see her, it took me 2.5 hours because I don't know them back windy roads. I declutter area in the timeout. Okay, let me start over. The declutter area is the timeout area, and if I don't think about the items, I give them away. I used to do that before, Janet, and that's a good thing. I would sit stuff somewhere else where I wouldn't see it. And then one day it's like, oh, I forgot that was there. I didn't miss it. Get rid of it. Yeah, that works too. We're all a work in progress, Dawn. Right now you're working on clothing. Would you like to get your makeup done? We have companies all over the world, Philly, Texas, Boston, New York. I'm also a professional makeup artist, and so if y'all come to my area, come see me. And we talk to you from YouTube or any profile, I'll get you a discount so you can come to Days in a Row for free. Are you advertising for your business or something? Yeah, you are. Okay, we're going to stop that. Yes, thank you, Janessa. Because y'all know I have a habit of reading comments. I'm like, this is reading like an ad. So, my second marriage, his house was a fucking mess. Stuff everywhere. And I'm just like, ugh. Thank you, Janessa. And so I'm like, we need to clean this up. Because the idea at the time was sell my house, the money from that put into fixing up his house, sell that and get our house. That was the vision. Y'all, his place. And I hate clutter, and I'm a very organized person. He's the opposite. Uh, I was like looking around his place like, what the fuck? So we went room by room. Because sometimes people do need help. They people who are not organized and who don't mind clutter, they'll just leave it. But when you mention it, they'll be like, oh yeah. But then they need that motivation. So I'm like, okay, I'm helping him clear out his stuff. He had three. I don't even know how they fit under there because his bed was not high. It was not high like the old time beds where, you can crawl under it. Like these days, like I have like this much space between the floor and my frame. I declutter after each shop my stash. That is amazing. That is amazing, Julia. Hey, Sons of Ray. We're talking about how to use what we have. And so I went through like the new system I did for how to use what I have. And so now we're discussing other things that other people do to use their stash. So I don't even know how all of this crap fit under his bed. Y'all know those black trash bags, like the like the lawn and garden, like the huge ones? There were like 3 of those full of paperwork and other stuff under his bed. I'm like, what the fuck is this here? And I'm just like, and so, we pulled the bags out, and I said, all of this is already in the trash bag. All of this can go in the trash. And he was like, oh, well, maybe important paperwork. I said, when the last time you even looked in any of these bags? And he was like, oh man, they probably been under there about 4 years. I said, well, if you ain't looked in these bags in 4 years, you don't need it, and it's not important. And he said, you know what, you have a point. So we took the bags and put them outside for garbage pickup. So I was just like, you ain't laid eyes on none of this. Probably forgot it was even there, because who looks under their bed for paperwork and trash bags? I'm just like, it being in the trash bag was very telling. I'm like, dude, it's in a trash bag. It's ready for the garbage. And so that's something I always think about is if it's just there and I forget that it's there, just get rid of it because I won't miss it. And so that's been like an ongoing thing for me too. And that again is why I want to stay in my sweet spot, because it's easier. Like if I can go through all of my palettes in like 2.5, 3 months, and if everything is top tier, yeah. And I do try to shop sales and stuff like that, use codes and coupons and all of that stuff. So what's something else that you guys do to make sure you're rotating through your stuff? I did think of doing shop my stashes, Julia. And it would only be for eyeshadow palettes, because I only have three different brands of bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. I only have 3 different brands. House Labs, of course, Sigma, and Cosmic brushes. They're blushes that Bestie sent me. Excuse me. Today is lit. Thank you. Thank you, YOLO. So I do want everything top tier, and so thank you, Camilla. And so I do think about, am I going to miss it? Am I going to use it? And even if I really like it, like even that Nobody's Business palette. Oh, I have forgot what I was describing before. The Nobody's Business palette, it was limited edition. It's in the white casing, and the outside of the packaging is textured, and it looks like snow. Thank you for the hearts. It looks like snow. Snow and ice, because they came out for the winter. And the inside is grays, blacks, smoky colors. There's a couple blues. And at first it looks by Rose. Every look was smoky. Y'all know I love smoky and dark. And I'm just like, damn. But then I'm like, when did I last use it? And I do have my other limited edition ones in my Macari store, because I'm like, I wasn't using them, or they were similar to something else. So it was like, oh my gosh, so many hearts. Thank you so much. And so your time out area is only kept up to 6 months before final disposition. That is great, Janet. Because I do think, I'm just going to say it and we can agree to disagree. I think everybody needs a system. The caveat is if it's important to you to use what you have. Oh my gosh, I'm flooded with hearts. I'm drowning in love over here. Thank you so much. And it doesn't show me who's doing the hearts. And so I don't know. So thank you so much. I do think we all need a system if we care about using what we have. And so when I see, not calling anybody out, but when I see, 550 pallets, 800 pallets, I'm like, what? First of all, do you have like a storage shed? for for all of the y'all know makeup takes up space. And I'm just like, I cannot imagine having like 4, 5, 600 palettes. I'm like, when are you gonna ever use that? Ariel. Okay. We're all different ethnicities and genders here. And I think none of us even not being rude to you to say this, but I don't think any of us really care about gender here or ethnicity here. Um I know some people might, but here we're all inclusive. So anybody else would like to share what their system is to make sure you use what you have, and also if like Janet, she sets stuff aside, stuff is on timeout. Do you have a process to use what you have and to declutter stuff that you either haven't used for you don't know how long, or just stuff you know that you wouldn't miss? Well, that's where I'm going wrong, says Janet. I have a system so that I can buy more pallets. No! No! And subconsciously, I think that might be what I did because I was down to 68. Now I'm up to 71 again. And I'm waiting on 2 pallets to come. One, somebody's gifted to me. Um, Granted, though, one, two, three pallets so far this year have been from PR. But I still count those because it's still in my stash. But yeah, when I hit 68, I was so excited, and then I'm like, damn it, now I'm back to 71. Are you really, Eminem? Or are you just saying that? If so, I was 38 once. That was a good year. I'm way past that now. But if it really is your birthday, happy birthday to you today. And we're glad you're here. You should be out celebrating, but you're here watching the Crazy Troll Nation. I appreciate it. So, okay, happy birthday to you. Happy 38th birthday. I hope this year is a good year for you. You're welcome. So, I know some people do something out. Well, if they buy something, something has to go. Hey, Locke, how are you? I talked about my system for making sure I use what I have, and so now we're just discussing what the comments are on what other people do, so that and my hope is that we can help each other figure out a process if we want to make sure we use what we have, and that we're not just hoarding stuff just to hoard stuff. Listening in as I get ready for work. We'll be in the background. I appreciate that, Locke. Thank you. Vanessa says, if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, be sure to do that. It's winding. It's wild. It really is. It really is. Janessa. I will catch the replay because it's a topic that I appreciate. Yeah, it works for me because I only have 71, soon to be 73 pallets. And so I was saying how I just cannot imagine for me having not just hoarding stuff in quotes, says Janessa. I can't imagine just having like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds because I know they wouldn't get used. I'm not calling you out though. But I know some people, if they buy something, if they buy a pallet, one has to go out. So it's like something in, something out. And I tried that, it didn't work. It didn't work because if it's something that I really enjoy, or if I do really like everything that I have, even if it's on the low tier, I still like it. It's still here, right? So I'm like, I ain't getting rid of nothing. But I do know some people do that, and it does work. Something in, something out. Because what happens is, I think, is that it's supposed to be a deterrent. Like, if I buy this, that means I got to get rid of something else. So I'm not going to buy this because I don't want to get rid of anything. And also, I want us to think about color stories. I am a hypocrite this way. Once I started leaning more into my aesthetic of goth grunge, messy grunge, I noticed that I have more of those types of palettes. And the reality of the matter is, once I have so many palettes, I'm just repeating color stories. I might have to dip into different palettes or pair palettes, but I have that color story. And yes, it is nice having everything in one palette, like Eternal Beauties. I have blacks, I have reds. But I'm like, I'm getting that palette. And so I was glad when they sent it to me because I was ready to spend my money. And I love it so much that I was even thinking after they sent it to me, I'm thinking maybe I'll just get another one for whenever this one dies. And it has a 24-month PAO, but my mind was like, I don't ever want to be without it. And that's how I was with 669. If they would have still had it or re-released it, I would buy that in a heartbeat. The same with Metropolis. I really would. But and actually Mission Triple X, because I realized using the inspired one how versatile Mission Triple X was. But I do think I can get similar looks with Mission Triple X, pairing my Mission inspired with my 669, because that has some greens in it too and some blacks. But not only color story, but formula is a consideration. Yes, Julia. Color story, formula, the palette aesthetic, like how it looks, like when you open it, are you inspired, or you open it and you're like, what is this crap, and then you're just trying to think of what look to do, and the look just happens to come out nice. And so there are different factors, and also packaging. I will say this about Natasha, like people talk about Pat's, I'll just say Pat, they talk about the boxes. I always throw the boxes away. Once I think I'm really going to keep it, I throw the box away. Um, and so that's something that draws people in sometimes too. And Natasha knows how to do her packaging, y'all. And I love that each palette is its own vibe. Even though Golden was basic, none of her other palettes look like that. I need a warm, basic, no other palette from her looks like that. I need a nude, basic, no other palette from her looks like that. Yucca, you know, Xenon, every one of her palettes is its own thing. And the packaging, I'll say the palette itself, I'd rather have that than keeping a box, because that to me just ends up being clutter. Is Matron? I hope it is coming back, Janessa. I don't think so. But I hope so. If they did, I would buy it in a heartbeat, because that was my favorite one. And when I would travel, that would be the one and only palette I would take, because I had my grunge, I had my neutrals, I had my ethereal, I had my smoke. I had everything I needed in that palette. I could do any look I wanted with that palette. So if I went away for a week, I would take just that one palette, and every day I had a different look. I love that freaking palette. I wish it does. You keep seeing ads with Natasha Denona where she is talking about her new Metropolis palette. Okay, let me kind of look crazy like, but I'm not sure if it's just a mistake using old footage or if it's coming back. I hope it is. I hope. Oh my gosh, I hope it is. And I want that formula, because I don't care what nobody say. I think that formula for Natasha and that palette was her best formula. Some of her formulas now, the sparkling foils, they're just shiny. Give me some color, give me some depth. You know what I mean? Like, give me something besides just it's shiny. But that's because I don't go for always the shiny, shiny, because I like dark and smoky type stuff. But I hope so. Julia says, but this new box from Pat is beautiful. Yes, it is, Julia. But you know what? I was like, somebody commented somewhere that the packaging was so unique, and she finally gave us a different packaging. And I'm like, ever since Bronze Seduction, it was a face with a crown and a whole bunch of colors. So I'm like, how is this unique that she never gave us this before? So I was just like, am I in the Twilight Zone? All of her boxes is a face with a crown or something and a whole bunch of colors, and very pretty. But it's a face with the crown. And I'm just like, this ain't different. The colors, but it's the same. So I was just like, but then just like when people say stuff, we hear what we want to hear. People see what they want to see. So I'm just like, maybe it's the color for me. It is. You know what I think it is, Julia? Well, for me, because it's more bright, where other stuff was maybe not as bold. Like the colors, they might be a little darker or something like that. But I think it's because it's light and airy at the same time, but it stands out, and it does represent spring. I will say that. So maybe that's what it is. Janessa says she missed Metropolis, and I have a little bit of FOMO. No major. I even bought the dupe from Alter Ego, but it's okay. Back in the day, excuse me, I did try some stuff from Alter Ego. The formula ain't the same. I'm not knocking it though. Like if you're not able, or you don't want to spend the money for Natasha, go ahead and do the alter thing. It is an alternative. But for me, having used having used Natasha and then trying alter, I was like, I think I threw it in the garbage. And I think I had bought like 2 of them. I was like, nah, because I will pay for quality, what I consider quality, and everybody's preference is different. But I was just like, what is this trash? But I know people love it. And the thing is if you're just going for a certain look, you can use anything, almost anything, and get that look. But if you want the quality, the ease of use, fallout, no fallout, more shimmer, less shimmer, more deep colors, less deep color, whatever. So there's a lot of factors that go into that. The ones that I had, the alter ego version too, it was before I knew I prefer cool tones. You tossed it. Yeah. Back in the day, I thought something was wrong with me. And yes, I know there is really something wrong with me. Listening to Beauty Tube, everything somebody said was good and you had to have it. I would get it. That's why my intro is the way it is. And I would, buy this hyped up palette and I would do looks with. I'm like, I don't like this on me. I'm like, I don't. And I thought it was something wrong with me because like, how can everybody rave about it and I don't like it? Like I'm the new kid on the block, so it must be something wrong with me, right? No, I don't. And it took me a long time to figure out what it was about it I didn't like. I don't like me in all cool tone eyeshadow looks, and I think it's just something with my undertone or whatever. I just don't like how it looks. Now, if it's neutral leaning, if it's cool leaning neutral, like I need a nude. I love that palette. It's the weirdest thing to me. I'm like, why do I love this basic ass palette? But I really do. So if it's leaning neutral, okay, I could do that. But just straight cool tone on me, it just looks dusty. Or it might have been what I was using, but I tend to not like me with just like, because a lot of times somebody will say, oh, it's a cool tone palette, and somebody's like, oh, it pulls warm on me, or oh, and that has to do with our undertones too, how things may look. But yeah, I don't like me in all cool tone, especially the lighter cool tones. Um, yeah, so I need a nude just boggles my mind that I really actually like it and all the looks I did with it. Oh, and some people's lighting look cool tone, but the palette is warm. And you thought it was something wrong with you. Yeah, and that's how it is. And that's what it is with these promo pictures. Like from Pat McGrath, it's like, what color is it? And even the Natasha palette, Bloom, it looked different in her promo pictures than in other people's pictures that they got from her website or whatever. So it's like, what color is it? But so far, I am still liking Bloom. I haven't rolled back around to it, but I like that every look I did was actually different. And I've heard people say, oh, I'm only able to get 3 looks out of this palette. And I'm going to tell you why. If you do your makeup the same way every single time, you're going to get the same types of looks, especially out of a monochromatic-ish palette. If you always use a certain shade for transition, the next deeper shade down for your crease, and do the next deeper shade out of corner and put a shimmer on your lid, yeah, you're only going to get like 3 looks out of that palette because you're limited to your transition shades and your crease shades. And so when I hear people saying it's very limiting, it doesn't have a lot of variety, in my mind, I'm screaming, get out of your fucking box and do something different. That's what I'm screaming in my mind because how can I get 5 looks out of that? And people are like, oh, I can only get 2 looks. They all look the same. That's because you're doing the same thing. The same thing. The same thing. You got to do something different. But anyway, so we'll see down the line how I still feel about Bloom and Bronze. And I do have an idea to pair the two together because Bronze has those deeper tones. And so I do think Bronze and Bloom are going to go well together. So what else? Somebody else toss in like what they do to use what you have and what you do to declutter. Or do you never declutter? Some people they just don't. They just put stuff in a box and just tuck it in the closet. And oh my God, I had a flashback of dude's mom's house. It was just stuff was everywhere. I was like, why? So. Let me get that out of my head. That was horrible. So what's something else? And then we'll wrap up. And so I am hoping that this discussion, when I didn't go off topic, if the discussion was helpful for you to think about some ways, if you want to make sure you use what you have on a consistent basis. And even if I said, if I go through all of these systematically, it'll be 2.5, 3 months. So that means something's not getting touched for 2 or 3 months until I roll back around. Thank you, Priscilla. Thank you for being here. And so in my mind, I'm like, if you haven't touched something in 6 or 7 months, Why is it there? And I need to correct myself because I just now thought about how people will say, oh, this will be great for the spring. And so they'll sit it aside until the spring. And I'm like, so you're not going to use that palette for 6 months because it's fall. I do seasonal looks just for YouTube, but in my day to day life, I just use whatever I want any day of the week, any season. Like I won't just be like, oh, Bloom is a spring palette. I'm just going to use that in the spring. No, I'll put that on in dead of winter. Just like I'll do a 669 dupe look in the middle of the summer. Like it's just whatever for me. And I know a lot of you are like that because we're trolls and we wear what we want to rock it. But even in my mind, I'm like, so you're just gonna let that sit there for 6, 7 months just because of the season of the year? Like, I I I I don't understand it, but I do. Because I know a lot of people really care about, okay, this is what's trending, so this is what I'm going to wear. Don't do a bold lip with a bold eye. You know what I mean? So I get it in that sense, but the sense that I don't get it is who is society or beauty YouTube to tell you what to wear and when to wear it? That's me. I'm like, that's what I don't get. Like you're letting some magazine or some videos tell you what's appropriate. What? That's the part I don't get. And I do know people want to be accepted and all of that, but they're accepting you for somebody that you're not because you're doing what they say do instead of being yourself. So and I cringe when I hear people say that, oh, this will be great for the winter. This will be great for the spring. I just cringe inside. Like, she just want to let that sit. Pretty Kiwi! Hi! How have you been? Seems like I haven't seen you in a while. The one says, Janessa, let me back up. Janessa says you do at least one big declutter a year. Two, if I've been too wild and bought too much random stuff. But Janessa, you know what? I will always give you a pass because the looks that you do, the makeup that you use, the looks you create, I just feel like you have to have all the stuff that you have. Because I really, in my mind, I really believe you use everything. And so, like, you get a pass from me because I'm just like, wow. But, and I will not be doing declutter videos anymore. I mentioned that earlier this year, I think, when I was talking about what this year is going to kind of look like for the Crazy Troll Nation. And I will not be doing, I still do haul videos, but that's the live stream stuff. It might be 2 palettes. I won't be doing like these huge haul things. I will not be doing declutter videos because as I look at stuff and I figure out what can I get rid of, I'm just going to either put it in my Macquarie store or just toss it like if it's super old. Because I'm just over it. And it's just like I'm not calling anybody out. If somebody's doing a 458 palette collection video / declutter, I'm just like, why? Like, I don't even care to see that. I'm just like, just throw your trash in the trash. Like, but people like to see that stuff because what happens is when we do our declutters, it's like a mini review of that eyeshadow palette. Just like monthly roundups. We're talking about the palettes, what we like, what we don't like, the look, da 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 da. So I do get it, but I'm just over it because in my mind, I'm like, that's just absurd to have 600 palettes. Like, yeah, but that's just me. That's just me. That's just me. That's my thing. The one says, I use whatever I want, but some palettes do inspire me for spring. I've gotten a little bit more selective, so I'm happy that I have less declutter stuff the last couple of times. You are doing good, Janessa. And I'm flashback into when I impulse purchased Bloom. I had even told Bestie, I'm like, I ain't getting that palette. Next thing I know, I had got an email. I must have been sleepy. And I got a lot better with not shopping when I'm sleepy. Because it'd be 4 in the morning. I'm just online ordering shit. So I am a lot better with that. But I got the email, oh, it's available. I was like, do, 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 do. And then I'm like, damn, I told her I wasn't getting that. And I messaged her. I'm like, I got it. She was like, no judgment. Hey, Miss Down, everybody. Miss y'all. We miss you too. Because there has been times when I'm like, pretty Kiwi. Because every now, like y'all might not believe me. But those of you who are usually here, excuse me for smacking, in live streams, and you're commenting, so I know that you're here, and commenting on the videos. Sometimes I'm like, somebody's missing. And I've been thinking of Nydia lately. And so I think I'm gonna go on my non-makeup Instagram and send her a message because the last few days I've been thinking about her and I'm like, I haven't seen her in a while. And Najo, she is around. The other day I was thinking about her and then she commented under one of my posts and I'm like, oh, okay, she's cool. And so there are times when I'm thinking like, I haven't seen so and so, like seriously, y'all. And I'll be like, wait a minute, so and so hasn't been here. I wonder how they're doing. Because I know things happen, and with the political climate, people are just like, and so you've been wearing purple all month? Pretty Kiwi says she's been busy. Says she's been wearing purple all month. Since December, I've been wearing colors for that month. Next month is yellow for Easter. So just purple makeup or like purple clothes too? So are you just like a walking purple people eater where everything is purple? Because some people, and I know a lot of people do coordinate their makeup with their clothes. I don't do that. But now that I'm wearing black, being professional and whatnot, like everything goes with black. But do you coordinate your clothes with your makeup? Like, are you wearing purple clothing too? I've never thought to do that. Like, just to wear like a certain color like all month. Hmm. The beginning of watching YouTube, bought everything. Same Dawn. Back in 2007, same. Everything. Buying storage. I got stuff on bookshelves. I got stuff in drawers. I'm moving clothes out of drawers to put makeup in there. I'm just like, because they said I needed to get it, so I had to get it, right? Being new. But you know, it was a learning lesson, like seriously. Because I learned what I liked and what I didn't like, and I started learning what formulas I like. And just because everybody raves about it doesn't mean it's going to work for me or that I'm going to like it. You don't sleepy shop as much. I am a whole lot better with not sleepy shopping. Purple makes your your eye color pop and your eye shape too. Love it on you. Thank you. You know what? I think I almost got my shape the same because usually this side is a point, is a sharp point, and this side is usually rounded. I actually did this side. Did I do this side first today? I touched down here for the bottom and here on the bottom, and then I did the shape over here. And then I did the shape over here. But I'm like, I did good today. Yes, I am tooting my own horn, toot toot. That the shapes are the same. Janessa, I'm back to the accidental swoosh. I was doing straight almost, like at least on one eye for a while, and then it's back to the swoosh. So I need to focus on that again. Yes, please check on your friends. Yes, definitely. The one says the purple. I'm just going backwards. I need to go forward. Thank you. Pretty Kiwi. Janessa says she loves that idea of doing themes and colors for a month. The one's waving at you. Purple is the color I think looks good on everyone, to me anyway. Do y'all know what palette this is though? I'm like, this will be the lightest look out of this 3-look video. And Pretty Kiwi says, yes, please check on your friends. Your childhood ex passed. Oh, man. I was thinking about him, and in January he passed. Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry to hear that. And the grieving process, it's however long it is. Like, there's no time frame. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself. Please. I wish I could wear my colorful clothes to work instead of black or gray. Why do you have to wear black or gray? Because you're a pet. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of the pet sitting. Because I'm like, black just shows the fur. When I was dating that dude with the dog, I learned to just wear jeans or leggings when I went to his apartment. Because any other color, it would just end up with, it would look dusty from the hair. And I'm just like, that's disgusting. So I learned to just wear jeans because it would just brush off. And I'm just like, damn, I got to think of what not to wear at somebody's house because they got a pet. And I'm like, I will never, I'm not going to say never, but I do not have intentions of dating someone with a pet unless they always just come here and I never go to their house. Because then too, my allergies and asthma. So that was not a good situation for me. It was not good for my health, my physical health. I'm an emotional shopper, says Janessa, and an emotional eater. I'm working on both, but there are worse things to be than fat and pretty. Janessa! I'm gonna tell you what my uncle told me when I was little before I had a growth spurt and it stretched me out because I was round. I think like around 10 or 11 or something, I did a growth spurt. And my mom told me one day, she's like, I'm glad you got taller because it thins you out. It just stretched out, the pudge. But this is what my one uncle would say. He would say, you're not fat. You're pleasantly plump. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying to you, Janessa. You're not fat. You're pleasantly plump. Yeah, he would tell me that all the time, and I would just be like, thanks. Oh yeah, and when everyone raves about something for a couple of days, I hurry and order, and then I never hear about it again. And that's the thing, and that's why I try to get out of impulse buying, because it's like, is it really all of that? And then, like you're saying, 2 or 3 weeks later, you never hear of it again. So I'm like, well, how good is it that nobody don't ever talk about it no more? And then it's like, or we have in our mind that this is great, but then even though we feel like it's not, or we don't like the formula, or we don't like the looks we did, or whatever, we'll still be saying this is great because we let them program us to think it's great, even though it's not. I don't know if someone else would be able to see both sides at the same time. And that's the thing, because you can't, because looking straight, you just see this. If you see this side, are you going to be like detailed and be like, okay, that's there. Okay, the other side, and no, you might know. But and that's why sometimes when this is the way I want it and this side is rounded, I'm like, you can only see one side at a time. Yeah, so that's why I just be like, well, it's just gonna be like it is. Or if both of my liner has the swoosh today. But if one side is straight and one side has the swoosh, I'm like, oh well. For the store, you have black or gray hoodies and yucky black t-shirts. It's torn. You didn't want your friend to hug me because you had black on and she had bunny hair. I was like, ooh, give me the hug, lady. Ugh. When I worked in Philly, I always knew, because we had shared offices. And so, like, days when I didn't work, somebody else would use that office. And I always knew when this one particular dude used my office, because the chair was black fabric. It would just be a sheet of white. And I'm like, so and so was in his office yesterday. Weren't they? Like, yeah, how you know? I said, his cat hairs all over the chair. And that was annoying to me with my allergies. Like, dude, like, you need to take your coat off in the hallway, turn it inside out, and just lay it on the chair. Like, don't. It was, and I'm thinking, like, what the hell does his house or apartment look like when you sit in this chair and your pet hair just takes over? Like, what does your house look like? That's disgusting. I put whatever eyeshadow look on before I figure out what to wear. I don't coordinate, but I don't blatantly clash either. Same with me. And I don't know if some of y'all would do this on purpose or not. I don't know. Because y'all know I don't match my makeup to my clothes. So I don't know if y'all were just doing this to be snarky or what. But somebody would comment, oh, your eyeshadow matches your shirt perfectly. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, bitch. Because I'm like, I hate that. And I don't do it on purpose. But sometimes somebody comment, oh, da, 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 da. And I'm like, and then I leave a comment, thank you. Appreciate you being here. Smiley face. And inside, I'm like, ooh. So I don't know if that was like legit, like, wow, that's great. Or I'm going to say this because I know she don't like it. So after this, y'all, when y'all see my videos, don't do that. Don't be like, oh, your eyeshadow matches your clothes. I do though, Janet, like matching my lip to my eyeshadow. I do like doing that. And I do like sometimes that my upper lash line eyeliner matches underneath the colors underneath my eyes. So sometimes I'm into that where I want it to look the same. But I do like when, matching my lip to my eyeshadow. And that's something new because before I used to not care. But for some reason, I'm into that lately. The lips matching the eyes. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm pleasantly plump since doing dumb compliment from my uncle when I was a teen. Yeah, I was not quite even a teen. Pretty keep redoing those were the days. I love Bunny for her. My childhood Bunny died, but it's better than dog hair. And his dog shed a lot. I was just like, what the fuck? Yo, he had a pure water filter, right? And I took the lid off because I was gonna put more water in it so it can filter into the container. Why was there dog hair inside of that compartment? Why? And so I said to him, I said, you see the dog hair? Because he was just going to put water. I said, you see that dog hair in there, right? He said, oh, well, that means the filter works. It's not no water. I'm like, that's not the point. The point is so next time I went, I took some bottled water. And it's really telling when you have to think ahead when you visit somebody. Okay, what to wear, what not to wear, what beverages to take, what you prepackaged food. I'm just he would want to fix something. I'm looking in the freezer, and he was like, "I wouldn't eat that if I were you." I said, "You wouldn't?" He said, "What's wrong with it?" He said, "I would eat it." He said, "But I wouldn't if I were you," because he knew like my stomach was sensitive. So I'm just like, "So you would eat something that I wouldn't eat?" Because so how long has this been in here? Like, I love chunky and being chunky and pretty. This is pretty kiwi. Maybe I should change the Crazy Troll Nation to the Crazy Troll Chunky and Pretty Nation. Because I'm chunky too. Yeah, 23 bunnies when we started out. Dawn, you just trying to change the whole subject now. We can rig it out. We've been off topic for how long, and I'm just rolling with it. I set my alarm for 6:30, got up, did the look, and now I'm here. Pretty kid 20. Wow. 99. That's a lot of rabbits. All right, y'all. So, any last suggestion or idea to share on how you decide what to keep, what not to keep, how you rotate, how you make sure you're using your stuff? Because that's going to be the theme for me this year, is using what I have, which means I do need to keep my stash kind of small, which means stop purchasing. And I can't help PR, so I'm not going to get rid of stuff. Like how I was saying, some people do something in, something out. I'm not going to do something out just for PR. And I really love that brand. You say, thank God you're not that person. Yeah, yeah. Not as bad as when I went through a drive-through and they said my hair color matched the interior of my car. No. I just flashed back to the movie The Banger Sisters. I think it was Sarah somebody. And, oh, shoot, what was her name? I think it was that lady Diane something from Mad Money. And so one was like the outgoing, rocker sister, and the other sister was like the bland, housewife sister. And they went to motor vehicle, and the rocker one said to the bland one, she was like, "You look like the walls of the EMV." Because everything was beige, so she blended into the walls. So her sister was like, "You look like the walls." I was like, damn. That's what I just thought about. Y'all be giving me flashbacks. All right, y'all. So any last ideas, thoughts on how to use what you have, rotate your stash, declutter, not declutter? All right, so let's end on the note that we started on right quick. Yes, Dawn, it was Goldie Hawn. It took me till like 5 years ago to know that Kate Hudson was her daughter. I'm always late to the party, but I will stay till it's over. Yeah, I didn't know that was her daughter till like 5 or 6 years ago. And I didn't know, I'm talking about, let's get back on topic, right? I didn't know the chick from, damn it, what was the movie with Bruce Willis? They were Armageddon, the movie Armageddon. That girl, I forget her name. I didn't know that she was Mick Jagger's daughter. I'm just like, what? All right, so last things. I'm going to recap real quick to get us on track. To make sure I'm rotating what I have, I did a palette inventory. These are all of my palettes. And I keep track of what I use every month. So I'm glad I thought of this in March, because we have January what we use, February what we use, and March what we use. And so this will get added to as I use palettes between now and next Tuesday or Wednesday. And these are the palettes I have left to use. And so whatever we don't use for March, we're going to work off of this for April and for May till we get through everything. And it's kind of, I'm going to have to get creative with titles, because there's a lot of Notoriously Morbid. There's a lot of Natasha. There's a whole lot of Notoriously Morbid. And a lot of Lethal. And so I'm going to have to get creative on like how I do what I do as far as the titles, because I don't want to be like, oh, Lethal look number 7. You know what I mean? And so I do think I want to get rid of Velvet Dusk. I do, because I do like the color story, but it's lighter than I prefer. So that would be one that would go. And if I do decide to get rid of It's Nobody's Business from MAC, which is beautiful, because every look I've done with that is smoky. Even just doing looks by Rose, they were smoky. And I was like, oh my God, this palette is beautiful. But then I have Xenon, I can do smoky. I have my MAC BYOP that I can do smoky. So I have smoky, and so that's the thing. But it's like the formula though is really good too. So I'm just like, so that might be 2 palettes that go, but I don't know. So yeah, so there's a few that I'm kind of like keep or don't keep, but then the end result is still keep because of the uniqueness of it, or if it is a similar color story to something else, it's more travel friendly and less messy. Like my MAC 12 pans, pre-made palettes. Those is minimal mess. Future Flames, Hi-Fi Color, and Unfiltered Nudes. Those to me are classics. And they each have a different vibe, and I can get multiple looks out of out of all of those, and they're only like this big, so they're very travel friendly. And so I don't use them often, but I'm like, I don't see me getting rid of those. So, any last words? Have you heard anything interesting? Have you had some thoughts on what you can do to rotate your stash? Um, I'm not going to do shop my stashes because it would just be shop my eyeshadow palettes for that week. Um, because I only have 3 different brands of bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. And the lippy just depends on what my eye look looks like. So, because I did think to do shop my stash. And then do a shop my stash for what palettes I'm going to use this week. Or I could just do shop my stash for palettes I'll use that month. And then work off of this list. And that would be challenging too in a good way. Like if I say I'm going to use 20 palettes, okay, I'm not going to use them, and even if I have to pair. So maybe I'll do that. But it's going to be a lot of Lethal, Natasha, and Notoriously Morbid. So then I'm like, is that going to be boring? You know what I mean? And maybe I'll just try it. Do a shop my stash once a month for eyeshadow palettes and just see how it goes and what the views look like. Who am I kidding? My views go up and down. So yeah, so maybe we'll do that for April. But it just throws me off that it's so many of just 3 different brands. So it's just like, so y'all definitely know what I like. If you do get rid of somebody's business, you know what, Janessa, you just convinced me. Because I no lie, I've been going back and forth in my mind for months about that palette. And so that might be confirmation. And you know I love to give stuff a good home. You know that for sure. But what I will say, you know what? I was going to say I'll use it for April and that'll be it. But I'm going to just, yeah. I'll send it. Because I do want stuff to have a good home. And that palette, though, the formula, oh my God. And that's what's been keeping me keeping it. Whatever look I do with smoky, the formula is solid, minimal to no fallout. All the looks I did was pretty. So it's just like, so it checks all the fucking boxes. Do a farewell look. But then I might change my mind. No, I'm not going to change my mind again. Sorry, I done said it. I'm going to give it a home. I've said it. I do what I say unless I have a migraine and I can't function, and I don't have a migraine right now. So, all right, I'll do a farewell look with that. I like that palette, though. I really do. But, yeah, so that'll go. So that'll knock me down 1. So 2 are coming. That'll knock me down to 1. 1 less. Because I do want to get back to the 60s, but I don't really see in it, especially if I continue getting PR. Notoriously Morbid, I love that brand. So any closing thoughts if you fall back in love? I'm not going to do it. No, Janessa, because I already said it, and when I say stuff, I commit. So, yeah, I'm not going to go back on that. So, yeah, that'll be. We'll do a farewell look, and we'll do a moment of silence like we did for 669. And then it'll be on its way. Because I do love for stuff. My thing is I want stuff to be used. And as much as I love it, and as much as it checks all the boxes, I don't remember when I last used it. And so, why is it sitting here? It has a lot of life left into it, and I want it to be used. So, and that's my thing. So when people say they just keep stuff just because, and they don't ever use it, I'm just like, that's a waste. Like, let somebody use it. And if it turns, throw it in the damn trash. Play taps over it. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. So we're going to go. I hope this was helpful. The makeup part. I know we went way off on a lot of other stuff. I'm just looking up here. Like, I got my first gift. I got roses today. Or no, it was flowers. That was a surprise. Because that's the first time. And they rolled that out, y'all, months and months and months and months ago. I have a lot of wasted palettes. And what are you going to do about it, Tanya? Pretty Kiwi says, no, I think that's a good idea and take pics. Yeah, and I do keep pictures of all of my looks. I do, like when y'all see me in videos, I'm like, let's do pictures. And then I look and I close my eyes, take that picture. Open my eyes, take that picture. Go like this, close my eyes, that's the picture. Close my eyes, that's the picture. Hold up the palette, that's another picture. I make that into a collage. So each picture is it's a 4-part collage. And I put that picture in a gallery for that palette. And I also put I put a little header thing. And you guys have seen, I used to do it before. At the end of the videos, I would post that at the end of the video. So here it would be the collage picture, and it would say ABH Fall Romance, look number 3, and it would have the date on it. I still do all of that. I just don't put it at the end of the video anymore. And so all the looks I've done since, damn, I think 2001. I have them in the gallery in my phone. Yeah, Tanya remembers, yeah. And I don't know why I stopped doing that. I don't know. And then I had said I was going to just put in the flat lay, but I don't do that either. So I don't know. But yes, I do still have every picture. And that's how I can look back and see, well, not how, but that's why I can look back and see. Hi, Kevin. That's how I can like say, okay, I haven't used this in like a year because I have the date and whatever look it was. And so I do keep tracks of the looks that I do. Oh my gosh, Thursday's getting lit all over again. Hey, Mario. I know, Janessa. I'm like, yeah, we're getting ready to go, but we've been on here over an hour and 20 minutes. But so I hope that this gave you something to think about. Those of you who shared what you do and your thoughts, thank you for that. Because the goal here of this channel is to help you all and for us to help each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always ask questions in my videos. I don't want y'all to just go off of what I say, but what are the other trolls saying? You know what I mean? And so, thank you, Janessa. And so that's why I always ask, what do y'all say? What do y'all think? What do you do? What are your ideas? Because me being here is not about me. It's about all of us, our community. Like Fatty Cat said when was it Fatty Cat or somebody else? I think it was Fatty Cat. When her first live stream, when she came in, if it was her, she said this was her first time coming to the live stream, and she said she felt so welcomed. And she said, I thank everybody for being so nice. And I was just like, these is my trolls. And so it does mean a lot. And in a collab with Janessa and Grace, Janessa was saying how, we've built a nice little community here. And so in community, it takes all of us. And so I do hope something I said and something that was written in the comments was helpful, and it does get us to think, because the economy is changing, y'all. Yes, it is, Tanya, very welcoming. But when they had commented that, and I thought about it, I'm like, wow, because we just do what we do, right? We don't think, oh, let me be extra nice today. Like, it's just who we are. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just like, wow. And I do appreciate that, and I do believe that's just who we are. It's not like, let me try to be welcoming and be, but we're just that way. I forgot what I was saying. So I hope that it was helpful. I hope it gave you something to think about. Oh, the economy, y'all. The economy, we're about to tank. Well, not us. The United States economy is about to tank. They're saying recession. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I don't know. But whether it does or not, with the tariffs, that's going to fall back on taxpayers. Stuff that we pay. Money's getting tight, y'all. So I know most people have at least one vice. I knew this guy, he was very wasteful with food. We would go to a restaurant. If it looked good, he would order it and take one bite, and it would end up in the trash. And it would piss me off because I grew up poor. So I'm like, you don't be just wasting food and wasting money on food. And he said to me, he's like, I don't gamble, I don't drink, I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't do drugs. Food is my thing. And I'm like, Okay. I couldn't say nothing after that because it reminded me everybody has something that they're just like, this is what I do. So if makeup is your thing and you are a collector, or you stay up and to buy, not stay up, but you're up on all the new releases and you buy a lot of stuff. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But just keep in mind, thank you, Janessa. Just keep in mind though, think of long term. If you're the person who keeps buying everything new that comes out, or everything that looks good that comes out, or almost everything, because saying everything is too black and white. If you're used to buying a whole lot of stuff, and based on our conversation here tonight, you realize you don't use half of that, or it's been like 6, 7, 8 months and you haven't used it, or you're thinking now like, oh yeah, I have that palette I ain't used since last summer or whatever. Think long term. If you keep doing that now, what's your finances going to look like in 4 or 5 months? Because everything is going up. Everything is going up. Groceries, gas, everything is going up. So what are you going to do? And so that's something to think about too. If you, yeah, exactly, Janessa. Yeah, you buy a lot of makeup, but you know people that go out every weekend and spend 3 pallets on booze every weekend. Yeah. And so that's something to think about too. Think of long term, not just now. Like, oh, y'all got this new palette. I'm gonna get this. Or like when I impulse purchased Bloom, and I purchased at full price, no codes or nothing. That was $69. So it's like, um, that could have been like more food. I have plenty of food, y'all. Trust me. But I'm just saying, like, or I could have saved it. I could have put it in savings, or just let it sit, or whatever. But I want y'all to consider that too. Things are changing. Um, and I will say this: people talk about, oh, so and so was on a fixed income. Um, if we're not wealthy, all of us that are not wealthy are on a fixed income. Thank you, Janessa. If we have to check our bank balance before we go shopping, we're on a fixed income. If you're waiting for your next paycheck so you can buy something, we're on a fixed income. If you can just shop and not think about it, that's when you're wealthy because you just know it's there. You know, that generational wealth, old money, all of that stuff. So we are all on a fixed income. I live off of my VA disability. That's a fixed income. I know what I'm getting every month. If you work, whether you're salaried or hourly, you know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? So think of it that way. Oh, y'all want to get this palette? It's pretty. How much does it cost? And is that money you can use for later? And that's why when stuff has life left into it, I put it in my car so at least maybe I'll get a little something back. And I'm not trying to get full price for it because it is used, but you know, that's something I think about too. Yes, or like me says, Pretty Kiwi waiting on a big sale. We know October to mid December, actually from mid October to mid January, them sales be popping. And Black Friday sales is coming earlier. Cyber Monday sales is coming earlier. People are starting their sales in October. So yeah. But the thing with that is some indie brands stuff just sell out like that and it don't never come back. So that I think gets a lot of people because it's like, okay, this is gonna sell out and not come back. So I need to get this like when it launches. But I don't have a lot of indie stuff, so bougie on a budget. Yeah, that's the way though. That is the way. You just did a spring sale shop. And so the thing is too, we know sales are coming. So just think about, yeah, if you have a habit of getting a lot of stuff, just think about long term. All right, we're gonna go. We're down to a few people. The numbers is funny. When I'm looking up here, I'm looking at the numbers. But I'm just excited. I got flowers today. That was like my first gift. That's exciting. So we're going to go. Thank all of you for being here. Thank you for the interaction. And again, I hope it was helpful. I hope it gave you something to think about. And not just for now, but excuse me, long term. And so on that note, as always, self-acceptance and self-love. That is the crazy explanation way. Thank you, and we'll be back here Monday for a swatch party. When we have videos going up tomorrow, a video going up tomorrow, and I don't think Saturday. But anyway, we'll be here Monday. And it was really good seeing you, Pretty Kiwi. I'm glad you're doing okay. And be gentle with yourself because grieving does not have a time frame. And so, but it is good to see you because I was like, I haven't seen her in a while. So, and I'm going to check on Nydia because I haven't seen her in a while either. So, good night, everybody. We'll be back here Monday night, and we'll paint the face. Good night. Thanks for the hearts. Bye. You hit your wallet. Good night, everybody.